A show filled with the drama and controversies occurred yesterday at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The London derby clash between two bitter rivals in Tottenham Hotspur and Chelsea Football Club happened at Spurs yesterday. This game was filled with a lot of controversies and misfortunes, especially for Ange Postecoglou's side. So, in this game, Ange Postecoglou wanted to win this game so that he can go back top of the league and continue to maintain the lead in the Premier League table. However, this game came at a very terrible time, resulting in a lot of problems for Spurs. On the other hand, the ghost of Tottenham Hotspur's past in Mauricio Pochettino came back to hunt them back in this game, seeing Mauricio Pochettino walking away with all the 3 points and a thrashing 4-1 win over his former bosses. Nicholas Jackson managed to score a hat-trick late on in the game that saw him establish his first hat-trick in the Premier League, with Chelsea coming away beating one of the top 6 side, something they didn't do often last season. Before we continue, do not forget to like, share and subscribe. So let's look at what Tottenham Hotspur did. So Spurs were quite effective, quite robust and quite impressive during the first 10 to 15 minutes of the game. So we know very well the way Spurs play. So this involved Vicario coming, pushing forward with the ball with the centre back spreading wide. Their wingers will spread wide with their 2 attacking midfielders pushing on to the half spaces, playing as inside forwards with their fullbacks inverting. As you can see from this clip, Vicario is on the ball, 2 centre backs, 1 holding midfielder, and the entire Tottenham attack is high up the pitch. Here again you can clearly see the 2 inverted fullbacks, wide centre backs and a goalkeeper, giving Chelsea problems when trying to press Spurs. So Pochettino anticipated this and decided to play Enzo and Caicedo in these deeper positions to try to cover both Sarr and Maddison. But you're going to see how Postecoglou managed to break down this Pochettino system and still emerge better. So what we started to see is Cole Palmer being the one to push forward to press a centre back, but this will leave Udogie free, and Udogie in this position will either try to play the ball to the front 5. So the position of Maddison and Sarr always ensure that Chelsea's backline is overloaded with 5 players. So whenever Spurs managed to beat the first 2 lines of pressure for Chelsea, they had numerical advantages in the forward positions. And this would see Caicedo now having to track back to make runs to protect the half space channel. So we started to see Spurs shifting to a double pivot and pushing Udogie high up the pitch. The main aim of Spurs was to have 3v2 players against Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo, who were patrolling Chelsea's midfield from deep. This gave a lot of problems for Chelsea, since now if Chelsea committed a player towards the press, then a midfielder will be dropping deep to receive the ball on either side of Chelsea's narrow front 3, something that Maddison did time and time again in this game. So what he will do is receive the ball, play the ball onto the winger, and now Chelsea will be facing a 6-man attack. And that's why in the initial first phases of the game, you used to see Spurs running at Chelsea. Here, Maddison has received the ball, and now Chelsea's backline is being faced with close to 6 players from Tottenham Hotspur, with the entire front line and midfield line of Chelsea taken out. We started to see Tottenham targeting the left-hand side of Chelsea by ensuring they overload Colwill together with Sarr and Kulusevski, and this is what resulted in the first goal. Maddison receives the ball, plays the ball onto Sarr, Sarr drags in Colwill, and now Kulusevski is in acres of space to receive the ball and run on goal, where Colwill makes a mistake and Chelsea concede the first goal in just 6 minutes of the match. So Chelsea decided to put the 2 centre-backs under pressure, and then we started to see what Maddison likes to do, coming out, receiving the ball in the fullback position, dragging out a midfielder and attempting to play these balls onto Son. And this is something that Tottenham have done quite effectively in the recent games. You can see the runs being made by Son and Udogie, who is almost playing as an attacking midfielder, not as a fullback. Now, Chelsea decided to sit in a narrow 4-2-3-1 block. In this block, they wanted to prevent any central progression from Spurs while attempting to press them. So Spurs wingers were the ones who were free, and they will drop deep, receive the ball directly from their centre-backs, and once they receive the ball directly from their centre-backs, they will immediately prompt Reece James or Colwill to spring out to come and pick them. This will see the likes of Udogie now having to make runs and underlapping runs in the half spaces to try to make crosses for his forward line. So changes happened when Spurs received the red card. Romero was sent off, Udogie was sent off, Maddison came off injured, as well as Brendan Johnson was removed so as to accommodate Eric Dyer and Emerson Royal. So this made the Spurs now had to shift in a more 4-3-2 system. This involved, but Spurs, unlike most teams, emphasized by playing with a high line, not caring whether they will be caught out through the counter-attacks. That is Ange Postecoglou's way. So what did Chelsea do? Since they had majority of the ball after Tottenham Hotspur's players were sent off the pitch. In this game, I don't believe Chelsea played quite well, but we'll like to see what they did. So we see that Tottenham played with a very high line, trusting their goalkeeper Vicario, who would be quite impressive and was quite impressive in stepping out and sweeping for his centre-backs. You can see here, Sterling is through on goal, but Vicario covers the distance so fast to win the ball ahead of Sterling, and this sees him sweep the ball. Here, another instance also, Vicario has stepped out, won the ball before Jackson, and immediately clears the ball out of play. So Vicario was quite impressive. Another key tactic Tottenham employed is playing offside traps. You could see here Sterling is attempting his run, Dyer holds his run, and now when the ball is played to Sterling, he is offside, and we saw Chelsea score time and time again, but those goals were being ruled offside. So the problem with Chelsea is that they didn't have runners from midfield attacking the wide areas, and now what we started to see is that in this instant, we saw that one time they played a very good ball ahead, and this saw Van Daven pulling his hamstring and leaving the pitch. And now Chelsea had a problem to try to beat this high line, and these teething problems indicate Chelsea's problems this season, the ability not to capitalize in positions of advantage. Here you can see how Tottenham's high line is quite high and aggressive, but Chelsea were not quite effective, especially the front line, in finishing their chances quite earlier on. And later in the game, Chelsea started to receive scares since Spurs actually believed that they would come back and actually win this game 9 men down. And this is what opened the first goal. You can see Sterling here has received the ball. Jackson is already making the run. A simple cut back to Jackson, and Chelsea will be through on goal. So we saw later on Udogie also receiving a red card and leaving the pitch. Now Højbjerg came in and started to play as an orthodox left back. So Chelsea started to be patient with the ball, and we started to see now Thiago Silva attempting these passes over the top for the runs of Sterling and Nicholas Jackson. Also Cucurella came in so that he could give Chelsea a more adept attacking threat down the left back position. And in some instances, we saw him play accurate pinpoint balls for Raheem Sterling, and this saw Raheem Sterling being devastating and a constant threat, especially to Eric Dyer. But in some instances, Cucurella was also quite effective for this Pochettino system, and this is what Cucurella used to do. He would play 1-2s with the likes of Raheem Sterling and attempt to make runs beyond him. But in a certain instance, Cucurella had an easy opportunity to square it for Jackson and kill the game earlier on, but he decided to go for glory. These were the problems facing Chelsea. So we saw later on around the 80th minute Spurs tiring down, and these balls over the top by Chelsea started to bear fruits, and we started to see Chelsea scoring goals against Spurs in this position. So Mauricio Pochettino becomes the manager who came back to the White Hart Lane and took away Spurs' unbeaten run. Not only did he do this, also made sure that Spurs team lost a lot of players through injuries and suspensions. We would now like to see how Spurs will cooperate with the lot of injuries that they have, as well as the tough fixtures they have later on. On the other hand, I will be doing a video comprehensive on this channel on how Chelsea can beat Pep Guardiola, and my first episode will be why Pep Guardiola is so good. So stick around to watch that video. If you've stayed with us till the end of this video, thanks for watching and see you the next time.